Software pricing is one of the most asymmetrical negotiations in procurement. The publisher knows their own cost base, their sales incentives, and exactly how likely you are to renew. You, on the other hand, are often flying blind on their actual margins. But there is a way to redress this imbalance. Every publicly listed software company files audited financial statements, and those public filings hold the exact numbers you need to calculate their true pricing flexibility. Let's look at a standard P&L statement to see where this starts. The first crucial metric is gross margin. Because the cost to produce one additional software license is close to zero, major publishers typically report gross margins between 70 and 85%. This sets the absolute mathematical floor, the price below which they would take a loss. Next, we check operating margin and free cash flow. These lines show you the publisher's actual financial cushion. A healthy operating margin means the publisher can absorb a strategic discount on a major deal without missing their earnings targets. When you pull these three numbers before a negotiation, you are no longer guessing what discount to ask for. You are operating from a quantitative map of their structural pricing room. Knowing a publisher's margins tells you what they can concede. Knowing their fiscal calendar tells you when they are under pressure to actually do it. A sales team's commercial pressure to close a specific deal spikes dramatically during the final 2 weeks of their fiscal year. This table plots the fiscal schedules for 5 major publishers. Salesforce closes in January, Oracle in May, and Microsoft in June. If moving the renewal to their fiscal year-end is impossible, target the secondary pressure points at the end of specific fiscal quarters. Deliberately aligning your contract close date with one of these high-pressure windows is the single most consistent timing-based advantage you hold as a buyer. Let's apply these financial and timing metrics to a real publisher using Salesforce's recent filings. This dashboard shows Salesforce's fiscal year results. With $37.9 billion in revenue and 77.2% gross margin, structural discount room exists. However, operating margin expanded from 14.4% to 19.0%. This signals tightening commercial discipline. They are holding prices firmer. Think about how you would handle this scenario. You have a Salesforce renewal scheduled for mid-February. Knowing their margin is tightening, but their fiscal year ends on January 31st, what should your immediate next move be? You should pull your close date forward by 2 weeks. Moving the negotiation into the final days of January forces the conversation into their highest pressure window. Even with perfect timing and 80% gross margins, a discount is never guaranteed. The primary hurdle you face is your own switching cost. If migrating your data, retraining your staff, and rebuilding system integrations costs more than the discount you are asking for, the publisher knows your threat to walk away is empty. You also have to contend with existing contractual lockings. Multi-year agreements often contain embedded price increase mechanisms or auto-renewal clauses that heavily restrict your practical leverage. Analyzing the financials tells you exactly where structural negotiation room exists. It does not predict whether the publisher will choose to use it. To put this into practice, run through this 3-step checklist before your next vendor call. First, pull the metrics. Check their gross margin, operating margin, and free cash flow to find the absolute structural ceiling of what they can concede. Second, map the calendar. Identify their specific fiscal year-end and quarter-end, and align your target close date to match those pressure points. Third, define your internal constraints. Calculate your true switching costs so you know exactly how credible your walkaway position actually is. Executing this preparation takes you out of a blind haggling match and equips you for an evidenced, strategic conversation. The pedagogical framework and research presented here were developed by Procurement Spectrum. To download the accompanying Excel tools and access deeper research, visit procurementspectrum.com.